top story, President Donald Trump has said getting along with Russia may not be the best thing for him politically, but that it needs to be done anyway. Now, he was speaking during his first solo media conference since entering the White House. RT's Alexei Yaroshevsky was watching in Washington, D.C.
Donald Trump walked into his first press conference as the President of the United States on the back of serious allegations circulated in the press about his connections with Russia, about some members of his team communicating with Russian intelligence officials, as cited by the New York Times and many others. Well, he refuted all the accusations against him and said that he basically wants just normal relations with Russia, but he is afraid that that media and many others in the country would not let that happen.
It would be great if we could get along with Russia, just so you understand that. Now, tomorrow you'll say, Donald Trump wants to get along with Russia. This is terrible. It's not terrible. It's good. I know politically it's probably not good for me. Hey, the greatest thing I could do is shoot that ship that's 30 miles offshore right out of the water. Everyone in this country is going to say, oh, it's so great. That's not great. That's not great. I would love to be able to get along with Russia. Now, you've had a lot of presidents that haven't taken that tack. Look where we are now. Look where we are now.
So that ship Donald Trump mentioned there was the reported spy ship cruising 30 miles off the coast of Delaware in the United States. And one of the reporters actually asked Donald Trump whether he felt Putin was testing him this way. And here's what Trump replied.
It's possible I won't be able to get along with Putin. And probably Putin said, you know, he's sitting behind his desk and he's saying, you know, I see what's going on in the United States. I follow it closely. It's going to be impossible for President Trump to ever get along with Russia because of all the pressure he's got with this fake story, okay? And that's a shame, because if we could get along with Russia, and by the way, China and Japan and everyone, if we could get along, it would be a positive thing, not a negative thing.
Trump insisted that it's not only Russia that he wants normal relations with, but it's also China and many other countries in the world. But he still feels a lot of a back push from the intelligence community and the media in the United States in his willingness to do so.
I think we can find some points of common interest. For instance, both Russia and the United States has a very mutually beneficial issue and interest in stopping ISIS. I think Vladimir Putin, if you study him from afar, which I've done, he likes competent people. Even if we don't like Putin, people that are like Putin, who are strong leaders, which Trump has called him just that, to a lot of blowback. He's a strong leader, whether we agree in America with his policies or not. People like that, like competent people. In many ways, when dealing with foreign policy and Russia and Putin himself, Barack Obama was very weak and almost petulant in the way he dealt with Vladimir Putin. That has greatly harmed, I think, any potential of an improved relationship. It's a very divided nation. And I said today on my show, I said you could have an article in the newspaper about popcorn, and before long in the comment thread, people would be arguing about Trump or Clinton or a Democrat or a Republican, and it doesn't really matter. It's disgusting. And I hope we exhaust ourselves, but I'm not convinced we will.
Well, Russia wasn't the only issue Trump touched upon during the lengthy news conference. He also accused a number of media outlets of trying to undermine him and failing to act in the public interest.
Unfortunately, much of the media in Washington, D.C., along with New York, Los Angeles in particular, speaks not for the people, but for the special interests and for those profiting off a very, very obviously broken system. The level of dishonesty is out of control. I watch CNN, it's so much anger and hatred.
Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you...
Well, the president also spoke out about America's intelligence community. He told reporters he's ordered an investigation into the leak of classified information concerning his administration's allegedly close ties to Moscow.
I've actually called the Justice Department to look into the leaks. Those are criminal leaks. It's an illegal process, and the press should be ashamed of themselves. But more importantly, the people that gave out the information to the press should be ashamed of themselves, really ashamed.
Tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye. There goes the show.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there goes the tree.
There it goes, Tom. Oh, the whole mountain was sliding. That's down. Oh. It's recording. It comes down to the... Oh, we should report down the river.
No.
Tom?
I
It's coming down.
Oh my God. Tom, should we call for an evacuation?
Anti-Semitism is dramatically on the rise in Europe, and Jews are frightened. That's at least the view of the chief rabbi of Ukraine, Yaakov Blech, who told ILTV's Steve Leibowitz that a large segment of European Jewry will be exiting the continent in the coming years, and Israel will be their destination.
There definitely is a tremendous rise in anti-Semitism in Europe, even though it's different than the fascism and the anti-Semitism that took place before World War II. I think that in today's modern age, we have much more to fear from the anti-Semitism that's going on today than 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. There's a very strong Muslim undercurrent and overtone to the anti-Semitism that we find here in Europe today. The amount of immigration, natural growth, the Muslims are really sort of taking over Europe to a great extent. And along with it is coming a tremendous wave of anti-Semitism. And I don't and cannot agree with some of the reports that come out from Misrad HaTfutzot and from others, where they start looking at the number of anti-Semitic acts without taking into consideration that before people walk out to the street, they don't call up Israel to find out how many acts of anti-Semitism there were in France this year. When French Jews walk the streets of Paris and they're frightened, or when Belgian Jews walk in the streets of Brussels and they're told, take off your kippah because it's dangerous for a Jew to walk in the street, they're not calling up to find out how many acts of anti-Semitism there were. There's something in the change of society that affects the day-to-day life of Jews in Europe, and that's pushing them to find places that are more comfortable for them as Jews. Many of them will make Aliyah. There's no question about many of them will make Aliyah. However, I think the challenge to the state of Israel, the government of Israel today, is for them to make Israel attractive to French Jews and to European Jews, to do more outreach and to do more of what they did when the Soviet Jews had no choice. They had to come. French Jews are looking at different places. Many French Jews have moved to England. Many French Jews have moved to Canada, to Montreal, that French-speaking country. And I think that Israel has to build up more of an attractive measure to make sure that they come and they integrate.
So you're expecting that there will be many members of the Jewish community from throughout Europe that will be leaving and seeking another place to live, Israel, with Israel as one alternative?
100%. I think that the Sarah Klita in Israel will be French within 10 years.
Minister of Absorption.
Minister of Absorption will be French within 10 years.
One of the topics discussed between the Israeli Prime Minister and the U.S. President is garnering a great deal of interest today, and it's all about how regional cooperation from regional Arab states is countering the Iranian threat from behind the scenes. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the Trump administration is now trying to develop a NATO-like military alliance of Sunni Arab nations, who would consider an attack on one of the countries by Shiite Iran as an attack against all. The journal is citing an unnamed official who says that neither the U.S. nor Israel would be directly part of the arrangement, but would actively support the group. Israel's role is likely to be intelligence sharing, at which the country particularly excels. This mutual defense union is believed to include Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, among others such as Israel's peace partners Jordan and Egypt. According to the source, these nations' diplomatic missions in Washington are already being asked to join the new force. He says that the Jewish state is one of the most sophisticated and technologically advanced countries in the field of mining and a world leader in the water engineering industry, both of which are of major interest to Riyadh. While Jerusalem currently holds no formal ties to most of the Arab states, there's reportedly been a warming of relations amid secret talks on matters of regional security in recent months, with emphasis placed on Iranian expansionist aspirations.
Well, many areas in Southern California are on track to experience their wettest winter on record. Meteorologist Amber Lee from our Los Angeles station KCAL is tracking the storm. Amber, what's the latest?
It's one of the strongest winter storms to hit California in more than a decade, and right now the heavy showers are starting to move in to Southern California. With the rain, we are looking at a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time. So far, already up to 3 inches in some spots, so a flash flood warning has been issued for a portion of Southern California. That's going to last at least for the next few hours. And with this system, not only are we looking at a lot of rain, but also very gusty winds. We do have wind advisories, high wind warnings, high surf advisory, you name it, it's all there. Here's a look at just how strong these winds are. Double digits from the Inland Empire in Riverside to downtown LA, and then we're looking at even stronger winds along the coast near Oxnard and also Santa Monica. 30-mile-per-hour winds in Long Beach. This is going to last with us pretty much most of today, and then the showers start to taper off once we head into the overnight hours. We dry up as we head into Sunday, and then another round of rain coming in on Monday. Back to you, Vlad and Christine.